Hello everyone and welcome to the Cubeify Q&A. Me and Kev thought we would do this just because there's been a few questions since the launch of Cubeify, whether that be on the CAF or Facebook and Instagram. So we wanted to make sure that you know as much as you can before purchasing and help you out with those questions. So yeah, we're going to go through some questions. Kev, you've got some questions there. Did you want to kick off?
Yeah, sure. So one of the questions were, are the letters for the celebrity reveals the ones that you've got to use in performance, or do you receive a bunch of letters for custom reveals? So I don't know if you want to start answering that one, and then I'll jump in.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So the letters you get will allow you to make up the Cubeify system, but then you're going to get a bunch of spares as well. Yeah, so the system's designed with a certain number of letters, but like I say, we wanted to provide you with more. So yeah, what would you say about that, Kev?
So yeah, so I actually counted the letters. So we provide 284 letters, range from A to Z, and obviously you need 50 or so to set it up for Cubeify, as in the trailer, if you want to build in all of those reveals, because there's actually like 6 different reveals that are built into the cube. Now you could obviously design, if you wanted to do a custom reveal, knowing kind of like how it works, you could set the cube up to do those custom reveals, but you're more likely going to limit yourself to like 1 or 2 reveals rather than the 6 that are built into the Cubeify system. But it is possible.
Yeah, great. Okay. Let's talk about the one question that keeps coming up is skill level. So a couple of questions I've seen is it like the Enchanted Cube? Is it a bit more like Cube 3? What, you know, where are we with Cubeify, Kev? Where do we sit?
Yeah, so I would say in terms of like gimmickless cube stuff, this is probably the easiest gimmickless cube stuff you can do, because essentially you've only got to learn 4 moves. Now, if you're already fairly adept with moving the cube, you'll be able to do this pretty much instantly. If you've never picked up a cube before, then it would take a little bit of practice just to kind of get your fingers moving the cube. But if I just grab a cube, here's an unstickered cube, but essentially you're just doing 4 moves like that. Now, obviously in performance, you don't want to be doing it with 1 hand, but I'm going to do exactly the same moves with 2 hands, and it's going to look like that. So that is all you've got to be able to do to be able to perform Cubeify and do all of the reveals.
Yeah, I mean, like Kev said, if you've just literally bought your very first Rubik's Cube and you take it out of the box, you know, just holding the cube in a certain way and getting dexterity of fingers is going to take a little bit of time. But in regards to our routine, as we've said and as Kev's just said as well, it is 4 moves, and you know it is very, very simple, which is why we've put the skill level as what it is. So yeah, hopefully that answers questions about skill level. What questions you got, Kev?
So someone else put, I love the idea, but as a hobbyist, I have a limited number of participants available, so tend to buy tricks that can be shown again after a period of time.
Yeah.
And obviously the cool thing about Cubeify is that we have got those multiple reveals built in. So it is possible you could perform it on one occasion, you could then use obviously the same cube, and you could have a different outcome. And there's those 4 core reveals that are built in, so you could do it essentially 4 times and have a different outcome every single time. So I think that's the nice thing about Cubeify, is that you can just do it once to one person and have 1 reveal, and then do it to other people. Or if you did have a group of people, you could potentially do like a multiple revelation type performance.
Yeah, it's all about options, isn't it? And that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to give people options to be able to do multiple revelation routines or a single revelation routine. And with Cubeify, you've got you've got a bunch of different options that you can choose. There's also some extra reveals built in, which we run you through how to do on the project, which are kind of off of the main kind of system, but they're still very easy to do. So it kind of goes off slightly, but it's like almost like a bonus that's built into the system should you then want to do more reveals.
Yeah. Have you got another question? Or
yeah, I'll fire one away. Let's go for it. So what's included? Do you get a cube with this, or what is it?
Yeah, so in the package, you get provided with the stickers to be able to sticker up your cube ready to go. So you can go from having a standard cube like this to having a cube which is all stickered up with the letters. And the nice thing is that you'll notice that the stickers are actually all look in a different orientation. So they're not all in the same orientation when you're just in the solved position of the cube.
And we use that as part of the routine as well, don't we? That not only do you have to move the pieces around, you've also got to reorientate them in the right way as well. But just to clarify, you don't get a cube with Cubeify because we wanted to give people the options. Like Kev is a Rubik's Cube enthusiast, I think we would say. He's a cuber, a hardcore cuber, whereas I'm more of a magician type cuber. And we've all got our different cubes which we prefer. So with Cubeify, you can sticker up your existing cube, or you can go out and buy a cube that you want to get because of this project, and the system basically overlays on top of any standard 3x3 Rubik's Cube.
That's right, yeah. Ranging from like 55 mil to like 57, 58 mil, which are kind of like the range of standard cubes. So you get the sticker pack. You also obviously get the access to the tutorial. You get the box. So you get the custom design box, which your cube can then go in ready for performance. And along with the stickers, you also get a sticker guide. Now, this comes in an A4 sheet, but the way that it's been designed is that you can cut it out and you can actually build up this is just a paper cube. If you want it to help you whilst you're sticking it up, to know the correct orientation whilst you're stickering the cube up. So that is an option as well if you wanted to do that.
Yeah, great. Okay, let's have a little look what else we've got. Setup time. How long does it take to get yourself ready? Once you open the Cubeify out the box, how long is it going to take to be up and running to be able to do the Cubeify routines?
So obviously you need to sticker up the cube. I would estimate that's going to take you about 10 minutes to do. If you're being like super careful and you want them looking exact and in the correct orientation. But once you've done that, it's going to take you minimum amount of time just to put the tape, the double-sided tape that we provided to build up the box. And then it's just a matter of looking at the tutorial. But if you've already got my previous effect cube cards, then you will also already know the stack that's used in this. And if you can already do that, you'll be able to do this instantly. It's not going to take you any time to learn it. Because if you do the same stack as cube cards, it's literally using the same thing.
Yeah, and to be fair as well, I think magicians who buy Cube Magic now are used to stickering things up. Because pretty much every single Rubik's Cube gimmick you buy now, you do have to sticker to some degree. So this is no different. You know, as Kev said, it's really simple. And Kev shows a couple of different ways on the project of putting the stickers on easier than just using your fingers. So so yeah, all those little tips and tricks are included in the 2.5 hour instructional, which people have started to refer to as a monster of a project, which is if you're into Rubik's Cubes, yeah, you're gonna love it. You're gonna get deep dived into the world of Rubik's Cubes, and you're gonna make it out the other end okay.
That's it. And to be fair, we've got half an hour of like live performances. So half an hour of that is just live performances, so you can see it's actually going out and performing it, just to give you an idea of how it goes down and maybe some performance ideas that you might want to take on board.
Yeah, exactly that. So let's have a look on the list. So can you use this with other Rubik's Cube routines? So let's say I'm a magician and I like to go out and perform, I don't know, some of the popular Rubik's Cube matching effects. How will I integrate that with Cubeify?
Yeah, well, I think the nice thing about it is that once you've stickered up a cube ready to go, um, you can still easily see the colors. So if you wanted to use it for what other stuff you normally do with the cube, like gimmickless stuff, you can. If you use gimmicks and you want to switch out, that's why we've provided the stickers, so you could get like the same looking cube that might fit other gimmicks that you're using, and you could use that as well. So that's why it's kind of, you know, anyone can use it depending on what they do already, and it will easily integrate into what you already do.
Yeah. So with the questions I had, they're all the questions I had. Did you have
Sure.
anything?
Yeah, I've got so one. Some other cubers kind of thought, well, the only possible thing that could happen is if this is genuinely mixed up, and you could totally avoid that by following the tutorial. But if someone did take it, mix it up, or if you're doing other stuff and mixing it, the only potential situation you can have is where these centerpieces could actually rotate. And if you've ever picked up one of those picture cubes, like the mosaic cubes with photos on, that's the thing that's tricky about it, because the centerpiece does rotate. Now, there's a couple of easy fixes for that. So if you don't want to learn how to do it manually, you can just pop out the centerpieces, rotate them, and pop them back in. It's as easy as that. Or if you are more of a cube and you want to learn an algorithm to do that, if you search on YouTube for, I think you put in something like Supercube tutorial, which is videos which talk about the ones that are stickered. So you've got to get it in the correct orientation. There is an algorithm that you can learn that will orientate the centerpieces. So if you're interested in doing that, again, you could do that without having to take the centerpieces off.
Yeah, and to be fair as well, like there's a bonus video on the project as well about a bonus sort of routine that I do and the way I perform Cubeify nowadays. And I sometimes intentionally will flip that piece so that I don't get necessarily a perfect solve every single time. To try and make, it's a bit like that off by one kind of principle.
Exactly, yeah.
So you've got options if you want to do that, or even if you forgot and then it ended up accidentally flipped, you could just use that presentation. Oh, it is, you know, I didn't get it perfect, and it doesn't really matter. You just, you know, move on and carry on.
Yeah, exactly. And then just there was like a question about, oh, how do you like force a particular person, or, you know, one of the reveals that we've built into the cubes. I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, of course. So there's lots of different ways of doing it. The preferred way that we do it now is on a playlist on the phone, and we show different ways of doing it. So you would just bring up a playlist on your phone. You set one up. We show you what to do, and essentially you're going to shuffle the songs in front of people, and then they're going to select one at random. But actually it's a force. It's a really nice organic way of doing it, because you only need to take your phone and take the cube with you, and you can do the routines. You can use cards, playing cards. We talk about external products that you can purchase, or you'll see on the trailer, on the live performances, I just use a double blank bicycle deck, and I just write them on there, and I just force the names that way. But you could also use digital force bag, Real List by Greg Rostami. There's some apps by Mark Kirstein that you could also use as well. Am I missing any, Kev?
I mean, there's a ton of options in there. Like, I think you could even use a Sven pad if you wanted to. So literally any force method you wanted to use, you can use in this. But the nice thing is certain force methods, because there is so many reveals built into Cubeify, it doesn't have to be, you don't necessarily have to force one item. It could be like, you could have like a bank. So that's why kind of you can be a little bit more flexible with it that way.
Yeah, exactly. And to be fair, you could just use a standard deck of cards and just write stuff on the backs as well, and a force card that way. And then when they turn it over, it's got the celebrity on there. So there's different ways of doing it. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward from the forcing point of view, but we do run through it all. So yeah.
And I think that was kind of, they were the main questions that people had posted. So hopefully we've covered everything. But obviously this video is going live, but if anybody's got any other questions, they can just comment on this post, or just send a message to us and we'll get back to you, and then we can sort of like add it to the bottom of this video in the notes or whatever of any of the questions people have submitted, and we'll get back to them.
Yeah, great. So yeah, as Kev said, they are the kind of main questions, but thank you everybody for your support with Cubeify so far. We are very, very proud of the project, and we're already starting to get some really great feedback from people now that are actually physically have the product in their hands now that it's been been officially released. But hopefully that helps. Until next time, we will see you again. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Cheers, everyone.